You guys, what's the deal with this? Why do we buy the things that we buy? Because of the packaging. Take a look at this guy. 6'4", masculine. He's got the perfect jawline, the perfect beard. Alpha male, right? Lumberjack shirt. Obviously he cuts down trees, so which means he's strong. I guess which means the paper towel strong? I don't know, man. It's obviously 3-ply, so you can't go wrong. Then you have this paper towel. Big bold letters, Brawny. And guess what? The quicker picker upper. You can't go wrong with this slogan, right? 18 triple. But guess what? You're paying for it. It's a lot of money. Or like any sensible person, you're gonna go down the aisle and look at great value. And you're gonna think, I'm gonna save money with this. But how long will it last? Here's where psychology plays a part.
So tell me, how long have you been making these crazy videos?
This is called marketing. You heard the story of David and Goliath, right? Well, you know what? We're gonna put them up against this. Let's see who's gonna win. You know why? Because you deserve to know. Let's do this. Today, these 3 paper towels are starting on equal ground. No opinions, no brand loyalty, no marketing, just evidence. Each one will face the exact same tests under the exact same conditions. Today, we're putting 3 of America's most popular paper towels through a series of controlled tests. First up is Brawny, the brand that spent decades building a reputation as the strongest paper towel on the shelf. Next, Brawny, the paper towel with a famous lumberjack that stands 6'4" with a perfect jawline that's practically daring you to believe it's tough, and him. And finally, great value, Walmart's store brand, selling for less and promising to get the job done just the same. 3 brands, 1 winner. First up is Brawny the lumberjack. Let's see how he does. Let's move to great value. Same thing. Let's move to Brawny. Let's see how Brawny does. And here it goes. Wow. Wow. Okay, it survived. It worked. Look at this. It's holding up. I can't believe it. So Brawny is a clear winner on the strength test. Great job. Strength is only part of the story. A paper towel can be incredibly strong, but if it can't absorb a spill, it's not doing its job. So each paper towel gets the exact same amount of water, poured from the exact same height, and exactly 10 seconds to absorb it. Which one actually absorbs the most? Okay, 20 milliliters of water that I put some food coloring in. And first up is Brawny. And let's see how the lumberjack does. I'll pour it right in the center, right here. And I'm going to wait around 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds, right on 10 seconds. Looks like it's absorbing pretty good here. 10 seconds later. All right, let me pick it up. See how much residual is on the bottom. Not bad. There's a little bit there, not bad at all. Here's the paper towel itself. It's dripping, but still looks like it absorbed quite a bit. Let's go ahead and move on to great value. Here we are at great value, 20 milliliters. Same test, same height, same time, 10 seconds. And let's pour this right in the middle. Try to keep the my phone steady, sorry guys. And it looks like it's absorbing, but I can almost see through it. Wait 10 seconds here, and let's take a look. Okay, wow, there's a lot there. This is great value. And now I can see why we pay a little less. I don't know, so let's go ahead and move over to Brawny. Brawny's next. There's my cuckoo clock, sorry about that. 20 milliliters, same thing, same test. And pour it right in the middle here. And we'll wait around 10 seconds. And again, this doesn't look too bad. Right now it's a toss-up between Brawny and Brawny. So let's go ahead and pick it up and see what it looks like underneath. Not bad, but I think the clear winner on this one, not clear, but Brawny did pretty good on this absorption test. What do you guys think? So after putting all 3 paper towels through 2 very different tests, the results were already starting to tell a story. Some brands lived up to the reputation, others surprised me. But the biggest question still hadn't been answered. Why? On the surface, they all look identical. White, soft, made from paper, but under a microscope, they're a completely different story. Okay, so here's our first look inside Brawny, the lumberjack guy. And honestly, it already looks different than I expected. Instead of one solid sheet, it really has a loose maze of fibers and tiny pockets of air everywhere. Those empty spaces are actually pretty good because that's where water has room to travel. There's one thing that immediately caught my attention was these darker clumps scattered throughout the fiber network. They're most likely small bundles of pulp fibers or tiny bits of leftover material from the actual manufacturing process. So let's move it up to 100 times and things get interesting. You can see these fibers twisting over and under each other like a giant pile of spaghetti. It looks messy, but that's exactly what you want. Every place these fibers touch creates another pathway that helps move water through the towel instead of letting it sit in one spot. So at 400 times magnification, it's kind of hard to see, but we're finally close enough to see the individual fibers doing the actual work. And this is where Brawny starts making more sense. These long cellulose fibers overlap thousands of times, almost like rebar inside concrete. One fiber by itself isn't very strong, but weave enough of them together and you've got a paper towel that can take a surprising amount of abuse. So I want to show you guys something. We're at 400 times and I'm doing a wet test. So I put a drop of distilled water next to the paper towel. And as you can see right now, how this paper towel absorbs really fast. And you can see the individual fibers filling up with the distilled water. It's pretty cool. Okay, here's great value of 40 times magnification, and the first thing I notice is how much more compact everything looks. With Brawny, you guys remember, right? You can clearly see these open spaces between the fibers. But here, those spaces aren't nearly as obvious. Everything looks just a little more compressed together. Okay, so now we're closer. You can really start to see the difference. Instead of a loose web of fibers, this looks more like they're packed into a dense mat. Water can still move through it, don't get me wrong, but the pathways don't seem nearly as open as what we saw with Brawny. So at 400 times magnification, those individual fibers almost look like they're stacked on top of each other. That's interesting because paper towels have to do two jobs at the same time. They need enough empty space to pull the water in, but they also need enough fibers touching each other to stay together when they're wet. So looking at this, it seems like great value, maybe leaning more toward a tighter fiber network. Okay, so here's a great value wet test. It's really quick, so watch it, you guys. There it is right there. I dropped one little tiny drop of distilled water right next to the paper towel. And as you can see, it's filling up very fast. Let me move across the slide. You can see the water traveling along the fibers, and that's pretty cool. Let me bump it up to 100 times to get a better look. So there you have it. Let's move to our third and final contestant, which is Brawny. Here's Brawny. The first thing that catches my eye isn't huge empty spaces like we saw with Brawny, and it doesn't look packed together like great value either. Instead, the fibers almost look like they're bundled together into thicker little clusters. That's interesting because this is supposed to be the strong paper towel, remember? Now that we're a little closer, you can really see those fiber bundles starting to stand out. Instead of looking completely random, some of these fibers almost look like they're grabbing onto each other. If that's actually happening throughout the towel, it could help explain why Brawny has a reputation for holding together so well when it's wet. Now we're close enough to see the individual cellulose fibers. And this is where the marketing disappears, you guys. There's no logo down here, so there's no quicker picker upper, just wood fibers. But compared to the other towels, these fibers seem to stay grouped together a little more instead of spreading out. So whether that's enough to make a difference, that's exactly what our physical tests were trying to answer. So here's Brawny's wet test. It happens really quick. Watch, you guys. Boom, there it is. You see that? One drop of distilled water on the left side of the screen. So as you can see, the fibers of Brawny are filling up pretty quick. So as I scan the slide, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you guys can actually see the water travel inside the fiber itself. Okay, I'm gonna freeze it right here so you guys can watch this. I'm gonna mark where this water is and just follow it for a little bit. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So look on the top right, almost centered, you can follow those trail of water filling inside the fibers. It's really cool. There we go. That's right there, you see it? Let me trace it. Let me zoom in and focus for you. There it is right there. See it? Let me scan to the right a little bit. I'm trying to follow as close as I can. So it's like one drop of water See it right there? It's moving through a fiber, inside a fiber, and it's filling it up. Okay, next I'm gonna show you how fast these paper towels absorb. So I'm using methylene blue, and this is pretty cool, so check this out. So here it is. I know you guys know how fast paper towels absorb, but this is pretty cool. So there it is, methylene blue on the left side, as you can see, and this is Bounty we're testing on. So I just wanted to show you guys the fibers and how fast they fill up, as opposed to just watching water. So this is pretty cool. So I'll scan a little bit more and just show you guys around the slide here, but I think that about does it. So let's go ahead and see who came in first, second, and third, according to what I can see. So let's do this. So after looking at all three side by side, something really stood out to me, you guys. Brawny had the most open looking fiber network. You can actually see larger pathways running between the fibers. Great Value looked much more compact. The fibers seemed packed closer together, leaving fewer obvious gaps. And Bounty landed somewhere in the middle with fibers that appeared to form thicker bundles rather than just spreading out randomly. Now, can I look at these images and tell you which paper towel is the best? No, but I can tell you this. Even though all three are made from the same basic material, they're definitely not built the same way. And after watching how they performed in the earlier test, it's a little easier to understand why they behave differently.